Marking and cutting is one of the most time-consuming tasks for any type of paver project. There are many methods for marking and cutting, but no one method is the right choice for all situations. The most important part of a good marking system is time and labor efficiency. It is critical to adjust all bond lines prior to marking and cutting because it is impossible to adjust them after the cut pavers have been installed.
We'll be using a marking tool to mark out our soldier cores. And we'll set the tool to the length of our soldier course paver.
Make a small mark on the side of the paver to be thrown away so the person on the saw knows which piece to discard. A table saw and diamond blade are recommended when cutting pavers. In-place cutting with a handheld demolition saw is fast, but has safety and dust control issues. When operating a saw, it is important to wear ear and eye protection at all times. Loose gloves or clothing that has the potential to be caught in the blade should not be worn. When dry cutting, a dust collection system should be used, and operators should wear dust masks as required by OSHA. When cutting, the person on the saw should cut on the mark. The position of the blade should remove the mark, but no more, from the saved side of the paver. The person marking needs to take this into account and be consistent with their marks. This is important to ensure there are no marks on the saved side of the paver.
One thing we need to make sure of is that we don't leave a little lip after the cut. This can prevent the pavers from sitting tight together, and it will show a big joint from the top. So what we'll do is we'll just come back with the saw and take that lip off right now.
When confusion is a possibility, number each paver prior to cutting to take the guesswork out of where they need to be returned. Doing so reduces wasted time. When marking for a soldier course at the garage slab, place a paver up against a slab on each side of the project.
I'll go ahead and snap it.
Snap a line 1/4 inch beyond the pavers to compensate for imperfections with the garage slab and allow for final adjustment.
Because we've created a flare toward the end of our driveway, what we're going to do now is overlay the field beyond where the soldier course would be, and we'll use our marking tool again to mark our cuts. Occasionally you'll run into a situation where you have to cut a paver up against an obstacle. In that case, we use a marking tool that can be set for the depth of the cut and locked into place, and then set for the angle of the cut on the top. When you've set the tool, take your paver, place the marking tool on the paver as it would lie in the void, and trace your cut. Now we're ready to take that to the saw, one cut, and it'll fit nice and snug up against our obstacle. When you have a radius soldier course as we have in our project, it's not simply okay just to put your pavers right next to one another in this manner. You end up with slivers between the pavers. What we suggest is using a marking tool to go ahead and create a pied paver once cut in the middle. I've already cut one here for you. So what happens is at that point is the pavers can come together and you slowly start making the curve without having any unpleasant looking slivers in between the pavers. So you would go full paver, cut paver, full paver, cut paver, and alternate accordingly until you came through the radius soldier course. When cutting around obstacles, one method that we like to use is to create a template of the obstacle. You can do this on a job site with simply a piece of cardboard. We've already created one here. The first thing that you're going to do is lay out your pavers to the dimension of the hole created by the obstacle. Then take a measurement I measured 2 inches there. Make the mark. Take another measurement. One and a half there. and go ahead and lay your template over your marks. In this way, you have all of your cuts ready to fit right around your obstacle.
When cutting a curve in a paver, place the paver flat on the saw's table and cut vertical notches into the paver 3/8 of an inch apart. Next, angle the paver up and recut through the same notches, making sure to cut through to the bottom of the paver. After that, take a hammer and knock out the notches. Finally, use the saw to smooth out the rough edges.
There's a tool we use when you have to cut halves on larger 6x9 pavers. Gives you two exact halves. If you're laying on a 45, you can also make quick work for a cut on a 45. If you want to quickly turn a 6x9 paver into a 6x6, you can use the third slot. And now your cut will give you a 6x6. Another way to cut a paver is to use a paver splitter. We'll use our template here to give us a mark. And we'll split this paver right in half.
The detailed work of marking and cutting shows professionalism, care, and skill of the contractor.